Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Huss Nation, where I give you tips on tricks on the home buying and mortgage process. Today we're going to talk a little bit about new builds and what that means compared to a regular home purchase. Let's get started. So new builds or new construction is basically you, the home buyer, just building a home from scratch. So there's lots of pros and cons that most people think about or don't realize when they do this. So we'll start with pros. So the first thing is that you have pretty much unlimited flexibility and just design as far as the bathroom, kitchen, anything you want to do with the house. There's really no limit to what you can do. Sometimes on an existing house you might have issues if you're trying to renovate or make it a little bit better. On a new build, it's yours. You can do what you want from there. Another good pro is that new builds or new home construction is usually in newer areas of the city or new starter places. So people like families love this because you can kind of establish roots. Usually the community is a lot newer, so newer schools, newer stores, infrastructure, things like that. So that's another thing that people, mostly families, look for as well in a new build. So also with a new build, when you do buy lots or if you're looking at land through a builder, usually what will happen is if you're one of the first people or first buyers on that property or that set of land, usually your lot will go or appreciate a little bit more at the beginning if you're one of the first people. The reason is because they will parcel out land, say maybe 100 different spots for houses. If you're the second or third person in line, as they fill up that plot of land with more homes, more buyers, your property will go up in value. So a little supply and demand there. So people like that. If they're one of the first ones in a new build community, they will see their house appreciate, at least at the beginning, a little bit there. So some of the cons to new builds is, number one, is the cost. It is very expensive and usually more costly to build a house from scratch for materials, labor, the land, than it would be just to buy a house that's already on the market. So that's one thing that some people, if they can't quite afford it, one thing that might steer them out. Another thing too would be just the timing of everything as far as the new build. So you can't close on the house until it is complete, and you can't move in obviously till it's done. So a lot of times builders or contractors, there might be delays with construction, either with orders with materials, sometimes weather delays, sometimes things that just are out of your control. So the longer it takes to close on the house, to move in, sometimes might cost you a little bit extra money in either hotel or rental for your current residence, or just general overrun costs as far as materials, labor, those sorts of things as well. So another con to new builds is that just the land might not be available. So I'm in Tempe right now. It is landlocked. So the problem is obviously you can't build a new structure on something that's already has a structure on it. So usually what will happen is they will parcel out land on the outskirts of the city or areas that there's extra land. Just kind of depends. But if you're on the outskirts or you're far from work, that might not be the ideal location for you, just because you might have a longer commute and it might just be the only spot that there's land available for a new build. So that's another thing that might not be the best. And then another con too that some people don't like would be that there's different lending rules as far as construction loans and regular loans. So what will happen is you will have to get a separate loan from when you start construction. So basically for the land, and then also any materials or labor costs for that. Once that house is complete, you would then have to refinance or get a new loan to pay off the construction costs and everything like that. So a lot of times it can be a little bit more pricey as far as the closing costs, because there are two different loans involved. And it just, more loans, more documents, sometimes things can go wrong as well. So again, quick recap, some of the pros for new builds is you can pretty much customize whatever you want inside the house. They usually are in newer communities, newer areas with good infrastructure, good schools. And then also too, they will appreciate a little bit at the beginning if you're one of the first people to get a lot there. So again, some of the cons as well, just that it is a lot more expensive to build a house from scratch than it is just a normal house that's already on the market. Also too is that there might be delays on when you can actually move in and close, just depending on weather. If there's an order for materials that hasn't been shipped or is missing, might cause you delays there. Also too, the location might not be perfect for what you want to be at. Everyone says location, location, location. If you're far from work and the new builds are across town, it might not be ideal for you. And then lastly too, just that there's usually two types of loans that you would need to get on a new build, and sometimes people don't want to go through the hassle of that. So I hope I've enlightened you guys a little bit on new builds, kind of what they entail, what you might be getting into. So just hope you enjoyed that. So thank you so much for watching our YouTube video. Please like and subscribe our YouTube, our Facebook, Instagram. I'll be launching a website here pretty soon, I hope, in the next couple weeks. So I'll let you know when that drops. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. My email here, ryanmhusser@gmail.com. Any comments, concerns, anything you want to see, let me know. But again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.